Welcome, everybody, to Item 9 Gaming Reviews. I'm your host, Gabe Lashley. Joined with me, as always, Carter Ridge, Graham Jordan.
Hey.
And today they are joining me for our review of Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. This has been the highly anticipated PlayStation exclusive that's been really just making crazy waves with its beautiful gameplay, full utilization of the PlayStation 5's hardware, and just really unique and meticulous craftsmanship from Insomniac,
with a story that just warms your heart.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm excited to finally get into and play when I'm able to play it, because I haven't got to play it. It's disclaimer, two boys here, Gabe and Carter, have. And I gotta say, guys, I'm really wanting to know how much is this story gonna pull on these heartstrings. You know, because this is like a Pixar movie I'm watching right now. I want that whole buying feel. Tell me. I need a little overview.
Overview. We're gonna be breaking down the review into three categories. We're gonna be talking about the story, of course, gameplay, and graphics. So we're gonna be talking about those. But third things first, we're gonna talk about that story. So our story kicks off with our two heroes, of course, Ratchet and Clank. They're having a huge celebration, and Clank essentially gives him a gift of the Dimensionator, which is kind of the MacGuffin sort of main.
These are the proverbial Infinity Stones.
Exactly.
And the gauntlet all wrapped into one. You know what I'm saying?
And then bum.
Guess who's on the scene?
Dr. Nefarious shows up
out of nowhere.
And then things go bad, and we're thrusted into an interdimensional adventure. And along the way, we are introduced to a whole bunch of zany characters from interdimensional counterparts, like the new female Lombax, Rivet, as well as a new counterpart to Clank in the form of Kit. So it was cool. We got to see also Professor Nefarious as well. Emperor
Nefarious, and they saw Emperor.
Yeah, and Captain Quirk too.
And Captain Quantum, Captain Quark.
Oh, I didn't see Captain Quantum. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, because I do like me some Captain Quark.
So basically, if you haven't seen, we're sent into a dimension where Emperor Nefarious wins, and he's basically taking control over that separate dimension, and there's a resistance in the form of Rivet, and she is kind of at the forefront of trying to stop Emperor Nefarious, and that's when Clank and Ratchet get thrown in, and they've got to go on a crazy quest, being the only two Lombaxes in the galaxy.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting dynamic between them. And again, I just really like the dynamic between Ratchet and Clank. We see them separated, and just to see how much like they really wanted to get back to each other is really cool to see. And again, you're going to be going around to different planets and getting all into crazy adventures. But other than that, I really liked the story. Again, it's gone with this very heartwarming, Pixar-esque, family-friendly story that everybody can enjoy. But what about you, Carter? What did you enjoy most?
Being someone that's new to the Ratchet and Clank series, I didn't know too much. I dabbled in it a bit in my childhood, but I didn't know too much about what's happened between Ratchet and Clank. So I didn't know too much about the backstory. But even then, I was still able to jump into this story with a fresh take, and they didn't have anything that I felt like jogged me down, that I didn't play the other games or anything like that, which I really liked. And also, it was just a really heartwarming story, especially with Rivet and Kit, and how, I don't want to get into too much, but Kit's backstory and Rivet's backstory and how they interconnect. It's really well done, and that for me was definitely like the highlight story-wise of as far as like what I really enjoyed of the story.
You guys
the main story is pretty good, but I felt that really took the cake for me as far as story-wise. But I got one other thing. One other story thing I really liked was Dr. Nefarious and Emperor Nefarious, how their personalities kind of clashed, and you got to see Dr. Nefarious be the weak one and like being demeaned by Emperor Nefarious. What were you gonna say, Graham?
I want to know the divvy up between these two characters. Did one feel more favored than the other? Because we're
definitely. I feel definitely they're trying to explore more of how Rivet sort of sits in this situation, comes into the universe, and they try to give her an established background, and I'm okay with that. I think we've gotten lots of games where the focus have just solely been Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
So I think this is a refreshing take on it and gives us a new perspective on kind of the whole world and galaxy as a whole, especially with them.
The multiverse now.
Yeah, trying to figure out, again, what happened to the Lombaxes and stuff like that is kind of cool as well. So I definitely thought it was a refreshing take on the franchise for sure.
I kind of felt
I felt like they also did a good take on Ratchet and Clank too, about like what you were saying about them splitting apart and like Ratchet, like all the stuff
their
Ratchet
relationship
went through
together,
and like about
how does it feel fresh though? Because they've been split up a few times, just about in every other game. Like, you know,
I felt it felt a lot more emotional for Ratchet. I didn't play the others, but it felt pretty emotional for Ratchet. You know, it felt like something that he's never been through, especially the conversations that he had with Rivet. It was, you know, it really made you feel for him and
you missed his boy.
Buddy. Yeah. You know, you're like you miss your boy. You know, you gotta be with the dogs, then. You know, you know how it is.
It's about a boy and his bot. That's about it. Yeah, for me, coming to the outside, I definitely want to figure out this character Rivet. Looks really cool. I can't wait to get into this and start playing it myself and figure out how the story actually works. But how's this shit play?
Yeah,
well, did they capture? Did they capture? Oh, is it graphics?
No, I think we're doing gameplay.
We'll do gameplay.
But yeah,
how's it play?
Overall, the gameplay is fantastic. You know, you've got your run of the mill action platformer here. You've got your crazy weapons that Insomniac is known so well for, and just the fact that how it just implements the PlayStation 5's hardware with your haptics and how every gun really truly does feel unique in some sense is fantastic. You know, you're going to be going through just your menial puzzles as well with Ratchet and Kit as well. There's like a hacking spider minigame thing that you have to do as well.
Glitch.
Which glitch, which is pretty neat. Overall, I can say that for me, the gameplay is definitely fun. There's definitely lots to ooh and ah over here. But that's not to say that it doesn't get a little repetitive with enemy types as well. The enemy types, the enemy varieties, especially the Emperor Nefarious goons, they remind me of the bad glue guys from the first Jimmy Neutron movie.
I'm dead.
So they kind of remind me of those guys. How it's kind of like those goo guys just sitting in their glass like things. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, I would have liked to seen a little bit more. I'm
really liking these goons for less guys. To
variety.
be honest.
But there was a decent amount, you know, with like the different dimensions with like the pirates and like the goons for less and stuff like that. But I do see what you mean with the
towards
Emperor
the
Nefarious boss, especially the big robot guys. A lot of those big robot guys felt very familiar. Like, you know what I mean? They just had different names. Like, I'm like, this is like the same guy with a different name.
Got little Avengeries, Little Avengeries on there.
But it didn't. To me, that didn't feel like it jogged down the gameplay. You know, to me, I was still enjoying it, especially getting such a vast amount of weapons. And like even watching gameplay, I noticed that we both had like completely different gameplay. Like our strategies, like I would like drop out my like topiary thing, so it would be a sprinkler and it would freeze all the enemies, and then I drop like a bunch of minions, and then I drop like shock charges, and boom, the room would be dead, and Gabe would just go like guns ablazing, and he would just use his guns, you know. So like it definitely has a lot of like gameplay options too. So you know, like there's definitely a lot of play varieties too. And I even played like that sometimes too. I would be like, nah, I'm not gonna use my bots. I'm just gonna use big guns, you know.
Yeah, and then the game actually implements some new sort of elements into it as well, especially with your dash. The dash animation that you end up unlocking. What is it, Shadow Dash or something like that? I think it's Shadow Dash. But yeah, it looks incredible. Dash? It looks absolutely fantastic. And the rifts, of course, that you're able to teleport through seamlessly during the gunplay and the matches as well. It's really cool. It's definitely shakes it up a little bit. You're able to get around the map and flank your enemies a lot more. And I think that it was definitely something that's very, very cool. And you're able to see how it sort of shakes up the world, even through just exploration in itself. Whenever you see a rift or something like that, when you want to hop through it and go check out what's over here. It was really cool. So I really, really did like that aspect. Again, just it really comes down to the PlayStation's hardware too. Having it look so good when you're doing these dash animations or tethering through the rifts looks really cool. And again, yeah, I really liked how Carter brought up how we had like almost 2 different play styles. I remember like Carter had pretty much filled up all his weapon wheels, but for me, it was a lot of just being comfortable with the guns that I had and just kind of sticking to them. And then when Carter was just like, oh yeah, you know, I've been using the Bombardier quite a bit. You know, I started opening it up, my weapon wheel, and started using a little bit more of those. But again, towards the end, I did feel like I was just doing a lot of the same stuff.
Well, yeah,
a lot of the same enemies.
That's yeah.
When I thought that maybe there would be a little bit more variety in the weapons too, I was a little underwhelmed. I mean,
what could you want though? I feel like there's a pretty good variety.
For me, there's a line between like straight up wacky weapons, and I'm not really a fan of that. And then I'm like different variations on some pretty standard weapons too, bro. Like they got like snipers and shotguns. Well, no, the double-barreled shotgun one that you showed off.
Yeah, and they have a sniper that slows down. They have a sniper that slows down time and shit too,
that's
bro.
Proper. That's cool.
Like it's pretty sick.
Hey, I wanted to ask.
I don't know how you could make the weapon variety more diverse, bro. I felt they did pretty good.
I feel like,
to find out.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of the stuff that I played from, it felt like I used
in
it
different
before
games.
In previous games.
Yeah,
like that's the
Ratchet
thing.
and Clank?
That's the thing.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
because like
I never
played too many Ratchet and Clank. So
yeah. So like the buzz blades and the like other stuff like that, like the bomb gloves, the
land shark,
the Doom glove and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of that stuff
has been in older games. But I want to ask about the upgrading. Like how'd that feel? Upgrading,
I thought it was pretty sick.
Really pushing into your certain weapons that you were holding down. Like how it changes the blaster pistol, so on and so forth.
So essentially, you'll collect raritanium, and with raritanium, you'll be able to upgrade your weapons, and getting kills with weapons will level up your weapon itself.
And then you can upgrade it, and it unlocks like newer different abilities. And then even I started to get into the challenge mode too. So I started to get into the Omega weapons, because the original game it only goes to level 5, and then when you get the Omega, you can go up to level 10. Yeah. And I felt that I was really enjoying the game. Like honestly, I might even jump back more into it. Like I felt I had a really good time with the gameplay loop. I thought that I was able to switch it up, especially compared to most games nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a pretty stereotypical Ratchet and Clank adventure, though. Gameplay.
I would say.
What you're saying. Yes. So if you have not, if this hasn't been the first time for you,
exactly.
Like for me, this would be the second time. Maybe I played a little bit of that Quest one. What was the one? Was it 4 players?
All for One.
All for One. Yeah. I played a little bit of that. I played the 4th one. So I know, like, and that's why, even partially why too, I'm able to wait this long, because I know what I'm getting into. It just looks like a lot better version of a game I've already played. So I need to grab it right now, Gabe? That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
graphics really that
just
big a selling
like
point.
You've been hanging around watching us play, and you can play pretty much like whenever you're here. I mean,
I'd say I'd wait a bit until it's like your memory's erased.
Yeah,
that's what I'd do. I'd wait till your memory's erased, and then it's a fresh start, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think overall, though, for me, the gameplay, I think it was a solid experience.
Nothing you ever felt before?
What would I give it?
I was going to say, I'd say 8. I could say 8, 5.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
9.
I really liked how you could upgrade the weapons too, because and really choose which ones that you want, because I mean, from a lot of the previous games, I think they just upgraded by themselves from like how much you use them.
Yeah.
So however, like whatever levels up, it would add attachments and add other stuff to it as well.
Okay, so you couldn't pick like what things are upgraded? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that was cool. I really liked that. It really added an extra layer towards the gameplay.
You really felt it. Like when it says it up to fire rate, like you actually really feel the fire rate. You know, a lot of games like you don't really feel it. You really feel the power, you know?
Yeah. And again, it was really fun having the haptics to really emphasize how unique the weapons are in this game. So it was really cool having the triggers just go absolutely crazy when you're using like the black hole, like Gatling gun or stuff like that.
And also like how you could like pull the trigger halfways and shit.
Oh,
and
it would change, give alternate fire?
Yeah.
Like the shotgun, if you pull it halfway, it's 1 barrel. If you pull it fully, it's 2 barrels.
Okay.
Like it's fucking, I thought that shit was sick.
I gotta know, what was your guys' favorite gun to use, hands down?
Towards the end, I really enjoyed using the buzz blades and going ham with like the peacemaker.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed that.
Car using that ricochet?
Nah, I barely use.
Oh,
That's not even level
garbage,
5,
eh?
bro.
Oh, wow.
I barely use the ricochet as well.
Probably
garbage,
the black hole gun, the Miss Fungi. I've been using that day one. The Doom gloves and the topiary. I can pretty much kill anybody with just those 4.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It looks so beautiful when you do it.
Yeah, it does look beautiful, which leads us on to our last part, of course, that being graphics. Now this game,
The F-Puss.
the F-Puss. Don't even get me started.
How many F's?
Yeah, so basically this game exclusively being made for the PS5 is a fantastic idea from Insomniac.
Yeah, facts. I was really happy with that.
Utilizing the power of the SSD, and we literally virtually have no loading times in this game. You're able to hop into your
I was
ship
watching that.
and then go on to like the next planet in literally seconds.
Like the screen goes black for like half a second, and you're like, "Whoa! Like, is that it?"
Yeah.
Like,
The switching from cutscene into gameplay looks
Seamless.
great.
Like
Again-
this is literally what they talked about before PS5. Sorry to interrupt, but before PS5 came out, like, you know how they were saying, like, it literally just goes. You can play the whole game with nothing, like literally no just black screens, no loading screens. This whole game I played with no loading screens whatsoever, which is crazy. Like, I didn't think that was possible. But sorry, Gabe.
Yeah, no, and again, using the power of the PlayStation 5 and really seeing what it can do when you're going through the rifts and you're in the boss fights, and at one point you just go through a rift and you're transported to a whole another dimension that's like a decent chunk of it is explorable and like fully rendered and whatnot. It looks really cool. And again, people are comparing this to like a Pixar movie, and it's very close. And when people say that, you can't forget, like, it's not, they're not comparing it. I shouldn't say they should be comparing it to a Pixar movie. They should be comparing it to the Ratchet and Clank movie, because it's an actual movie that's already out. So it looks like, of course it looks like a movie. It looks like its own fucking movie.
It does.
Which is cool, man. And
It's super dope.
Yeah, I really did think this game looked really cool.
Yeah.
It looked great on the monitor playing it. And again, they do give you the option where you can choose either graphics or fidelity, giving you the chance to play in a locked 60 frames per second, but your visuals won't be as tweaked. Again, and this game looks really good. I mean, you got your ray tracing going on. There's some parts of the game that I would have to say, as a whole, the game it's a very pretty game. But there's nothing to do inside the world. There's not really much to interact with, I think.
What do you mean?
Well, and I think I know it's from previous
like
games.
stuff around the map. It's very like it's
linear.
It's very linear.
It's linear. It's a linear game. You're playing a movie though. You're playing a movie. That's what we're
There's
saying.
a decent amount of exploration. Like I found myself getting lost, like, you know, like getting Raritanium and getting gold bolts and stuff like that. You know, I know it's just a little thing, but
yeah, it's more locked by like your ability to get to that location or whatever. If you have to unlock a decent power to get there.
No, but it's still
there's a lot to see.
Really like that, but
I wish I could walk. I hope to be able to walk in the cities for a little bit longer than what I've seen you guys play.
Yeah, exactly. So
you know what I'm saying?
But that's not to say that there are some parts that there. Well, I can't say some parts. There's one part of the game what kind of on the where you're sort of like searching for the Lombax orbs, the Lorbs.
That's a side mission.
But I'm saying that planet opens up, and it's very much more explorable than the other planets that you go visit.
Yeah.
Something like that I'd like to do.
But again, when you're in these different sort of planets, there's not much to talk. Like, there's nowhere to really. There's nobody to talk to. You can't really talk to any of the NPCs that are around.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's very dull. They kind of all stand around doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
And I mean, like, I get what this game is. I get it's not that sort of game.
It's not like an RPG. You know? It's not like Skyrim.
Well, sorry, if you think even the first Jack and Daxter, bro, you can go around and talk to the villagers.
I was gonna say Jack and Daxter's
like
crazy.
little
really?
Yeah, and get like do like a little. All right, you'll collect this orb, bring me this, whatever. Like, even something like that. There is there were a few missions who got you armor and stuff like that for sure. But I the way that you guys are explaining it to me makes it feel like it's not as much as that enough to make an impact, or enough that you wanted.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say,
Or was in the wrong places.
yeah. Again, I stand by saying it's a very look, don't touch kind of game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't
would
touch
say
the trees.
that.
Don't walk through foliage.
My only gripe with the game is the fucking Trudy, bro. The dragon gameplay
Oh
was
yeah,
not. It was.
eh?
They should have chopped that on the axe block, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Left on the cutting room
whoever's
floor, huh?
idea it was to bring that in, we could have done it without it.
it's like
It was the gameplay was. It was so hard. It was so bad.
it
bro.
didn't belong
Really,
in
huh?
this game.
Yeah, it did not.
Seems like some
it
real
was so hard
Batmobile
to
in Arkham
control.
City, huh?
It didn't feel right. Like there was even a side mission where you had to go and collect them, and like
Like
yeah.
I'll just say, like the whole game is very fast paced and plays super smooth. And then the moment you get to this part, you're just like, what the fuck is this? You've completely stopped and you slowed down to like a full halt, and you're just forced to use these really ugly, cumbersome, slow controls. That
It's like a
really,
6-axis.
And it's so hard
layer
to
It
shit.
really
control,
pulls you
bro.
out of the game.
It's
It
not
feels like
just-
fucking layer, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Some layer
Some
shit, bro.
layer
Some
shit.
Bro, I'm like,
dum,
why am I
dum,
not
dum,
fucking moving, bro? I'm like, I'm going this way, but I'm not. Like,
Your sensitivity
I
is
don't like
like
that,
up
yeah.
to like fucking
Which
max,
also-
slow as fuck.
Reminds me of the hover jet ski fucking things you do in Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, you also do get a hoverboard in the original Ratchet and Clank too.
I like
Yeah,
those
well, no, the
booster boots. We
PS4
didn't talk
original?
about. You said
No, I'm
those
just saying
booster
it. I'm
boots
just
are in those
saying
other
it,
games,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
those
Yeah, the
booster
boot-
boots
yeah.
were fire, bro. I
Oh,
was
yeah?
using those bare
Yeah, see those
combat
guys like
shit.
scooting around. You scooting around on
And
those
you boost
boots.
it, and then you go boom, 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 and then you can go like super boost.
And I
Damn.
love the. This is just one thing that I noticed that I really love from playing it. When you have the mag boots or the hover boots on, and you're just booking it, and you hit X and jump into your ship. Have you ever done that?
yeah, and you just like
It's just-
seamlessly.
It's yeah.
Yo, like
Wow,
it's so
smooth.
smooth,
Yeah.
bro.
That's
Like
smooth as fuck.
That was really
Sounds
something that
nice.
I noticed and I really appreciated.
See, like,
Yeah, but overall, I think it's a fantastic game. If you have
Mhm.
a PlayStation 5, it's definitely one to pick up. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. It's a great entry into the Ratchet and Clank franchise. I think for me, it's up there. It's up there as,
Gonna rank
as one
it?
of the best.
ooh,
gonna rate it?
he's gonna
Give it
get
a
a
number?
number.
I'm not gonna give it a number.
Guys,
Gonna give it a
never
number?
gonna
It's
give it a
definitely
number.
a must play.
no, not compared to the other Ratchets, just like a rank number.
Oh, hold on. We should ask that officially. Are we at the end? Are we trying to officially ask that?
no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like
What's your number?
well, oh no, I'm not giving it a number,
Oh,
man. I don't believe in that.
Yo, you've already
liar.
given games a number.
Yeah,
in
didn't you
other
give the
item
last
9
game the
reviews,
number?
bro.
I've given it various scores, but not numbers. But yeah, I think that this game is definitely worth a pickup.
It's definitely a cap.
Again with these newer titles, you're gonna be forced to paying at least 80. It was $89.99.
$89.99.
Is it $89?
$89.99.
No, it's 89.
89.
It's PS5 exclusive.
Trust.
Oh.
With that being said, I think the collector's gold edition of this game is $100 and something dollars, which is absolutely crazy. The average kid cannot
Never gonna happen.
afford to buy these games.
Facts.
You should
by
give it a bunch
themselves.
of influencers who are
That's why
whack.
Games Pass
Not
is
the boys
kinda
I'm
good.
nine.
Dropping the Games Pass to the PS5.
And again,
Exactly.
I do realize that these games cost a lot to make, but there's got to be
something about
they,
that.
they got to be more accessible, man.
Facts.
These prices are killing us. Yeah, but overall, I think this is a must play. Carter, what about you?
Yeah, definitely.
In
a must play.
summation, what do you think?
In summation, overall, I'd say it's a very great game. You know, being someone that's new to the series, I definitely had a lot of time enjoying it. There was definitely some times where it did feel a bit repetitive, but overall, considering how short it is, like 16, 20 hours max, it definitely didn't feel like it dragged on too long. And I definitely felt with the new variety of weapons I was constantly getting, I was able to switch up my gameplay and switch up my variety, that I was able to feel fresh and enticed all my way through the game. And I had a very good time enjoying the story, especially as I said earlier, the Rivet and Kit story. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it, you know?
Yeah, and the story ends in a very open-ended fashion.
Yeah,
so I do
it
believe
wasn't
we'll
the
get
best
sequel.
ending, but endings are always hard, you
Say
know?
this
So-
ending was at least more concrete than the ending of The Last of Us 2.
Sure.
So
Yeah, but we can definitely expect we'll be getting a sequel from this. I hope they kind of put it away for a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think
I'd like to see some Sly Cooper or something else.
exactly. We definitely need to see some Sly Cooper.
Oh shoot, with that dimension gun. You
Jack
guys didn't
and
mention the
Dexter.
dimension gun, bro. What the heck?
We didn't get that. I didn't.
You
get
didn't
that.
get it?
I got it.
You
the
got
Rhino.
Carter. Who
The
came
Rhino
through?
one?
Yeah, you have to fucking
Get the
get
spy
all the
boss.
spy boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what happened
Yeah.
with that Carter? Who came
Pretty
down?
dope.
Who came down?
I've only gotten a sheep, bro. I've only gotten a Spyro sheep. I have to upgrade it more. I haven't used it too much.
Wow. Okay, yeah, it seems like too much for me.
Yeah, but there you guys go. That has been our Item 9 gaming review of Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart for PS5. It's out now. If you guys haven't gotten it yet, what are you doing? Listen to this. Turn this off. Go play Ratchet and Clank.
But first, like and subscribe.
But of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow us on our socials, which are just right below me, right there. So take a look at that, and don't forget to hit up Item 9 Gaming on the podcast networks such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor.
We on it all.
Wherever you get your fixes,
And everywhere.
we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, buddy, you want some of that new Item 9 Gaming?
Yeah.
I got what you're looking for right here.
Fresh Item 9.
Yeah, guys. So thanks for listening, and be sure to check out our content over on the Twitch and the
Got
YouTubes
some good clips on
and all that stuff. So
Patreon.
thanks guys for
Hit the
listening.
Patreon.
And until next time, we will see you all later, guys.
Easy.